Well, joining us for this very special interview is Ankush Sachdeva from ShareChat. Thank you very much, Ankush, for joining us today. ShareChat has been in news, lots of interesting developments at your end, $266 million in funding. What does this money really mean to you?
Thank you, Priya, for inviting me. Yeah, I think this year has been an incredible year for us in terms of growth and also capital, as you mentioned. I think it's a very large and capital-intensive market, the market we are playing in. So I think a bulk of this capital will go into user acquisition, helping creators monetize, building the AI infra, scaling the AI org. So I've mentioned this multiple times before. We are building a global AI org that itself is a very, very capital-intensive journey. So I think it goes in a bunch of places, but I think we're very, very confident that if we are going to put this capital in the real core competency of the company, which is about feed ranking, building the AI infra, I think it will give us long-term gains to stay competitive in this market.
Right, it's a very competitive market as we speak, but you have 180 million active users at this point in time in India. Tell us a little bit about where these users are coming from, what kind of additions are we seeing month on month, some metrics that you can share?
Yeah, so we have 180 million MAUs on ShareChat and 160 on Moj. And so ShareChat started as a non-English product. Therefore, the entire audience is tier 2, tier 3 based. Moj is a very pan-India visual product. Therefore, I think it is much more diversified across tier 1 and tier 2. But these are, I think, they are both very, very reflective of the demographic of the country. So they are all very, very young folks from across Delhi, Mumbai, to Jaipur, Ranchi, to the last tier that's online today. So yeah, I think that's the rough demographic of our user base.
But Ankush, I want to understand now we're at the end of this calendar year. 2022 is just about to set in. What kind of ambitions do you have for the company? Because taking it to the next level from here will also mean introduction of new features, new products on the platform. So what kind of tech can we expect from your front?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, the core competency of the company is feed ranking. So that is something that we'll do next year, 5 years on the line, 10 years on the line. That is one thing we will never change. So therefore, that means more investment into AI infra, building a better team, larger team, all of that. One of the very, very interesting themes we will have next year, which we'll scale up massively, would be around creator monetization, because I think creators put in a lot of effort every single day on both of our platforms to create content and entertain their fans. And we do not want that to remain a side gig for a lot of these guys. It has to become a career option for them to become a content creator. And therefore, we are going big on multiple dimensions to help them make money, be it live stream virtual gifting, be it video commerce, be it influencer marketplace. And we've also shared our plans, for example, the Flipkart deal, our ShareChat audio chat room monetization story. We've shared that publicly now. But next year, we are going way more aggressive in making sure we're able to enable creators to make money on the platform.
So as we speak at this point in time, what kind of revenue streams are you working with? Because, of course, creator, monetization is one such strategy going forward. But, in the short to medium term, what is your vision on how the monetization strategy will shape up for ShareChat?
Yeah, so we are early in the monetization journey. We started 2 years ago, but we scaled up massively, for example, on the ad side. And we believe ads would be the majority of our revenue 5 years down the line. And we'll continue to scale up that both on ShareChat and Moj. The other would be, as I mentioned, virtual gifting, which helps the creators to make money, but we also take our cut and also helps the platform to monetize. And the third would be video commerce. Again, so I think the platform monetization and creator monetization go hand in hand, because if our creators make money, they are happy. We will take a small cut and also make money for ourselves.
Right. I also want to understand, in terms of metrics, what kind of ambitions do you have? Because at this point in time, while you did break up the number of users on the platform, what kind of medium to long-term strategy and targets have you set for yourself?
Yeah. So I think the long-term goal is that we want to hit 1 billion MAUs by end of 25, which is cumulatively in ShareChat and Moj. We want to hit 1 billion MAUs by end of 25 and $1 billion in annual revenue. That's the very large long-term vision that we have today.
Right. And how will you scale this up year on year? At the end of FY22, what kind of revenue numbers are you looking at hitting?
So we're not sharing like exact year-on-year numbers, but we expect to at least double every year.
But that's an interesting perspective out there, because over the last couple of months in this pandemic, we've seen so many more people get onto the online platforms, share their stories on platforms such as yours. Tell us a little bit about how this whole growth is happening, what kind of demand you're seeing, what kind of trends are basically shaping up in the whole ecosystem.
Yeah, so I think it's a very fascinating time to be in India and building a content company, because there are so many people coming online. So we only look at them from a consumer point of view, that they're now online, they have a phone, they can consume content, but a lot of them also become content creators. And they come up with very, very unique sort of stories. So we have creators, for example, who are into farming honey, and they're sharing their journey of how they go about caring for the honeybees, and eventually they get to the honey. So they're sharing short videos, making their fans live through their life. And that's a very unique story which you would probably not hear. And these are the long tail of creators. You have your usual creators who are lip syncing, dancing from across the length and breadth of the country. You also have folks which are, for example, putting educational content. We have a lot of English speaking content which is coming on the platform. We have a lot of preparation content for a bank job preparation, IES preparation, very short clips, a simple math trick that a math teacher is putting on the platform. So I think the consumer story is very well understood with the whole geo phenomena, but this creator story is what is becoming very, very interesting, where you are now watching and seeing very unique stories from the hinterlands of India come up and getting viral on the internet. So I think that phenomena is sort of underappreciated in my opinion. And to top of that, next year we're going to go even more aggressive on the live stream, and that's another new genre of content which will uncover far more closer interaction between a creator and fan. So I think that creator phenomena which is happening in India is just immense, and I believe underappreciated.
In terms of average time spent by users, also, are you seeing that increase? And have you seen that increase in the past? What kind of trends do you expect in the future?
Yeah, so I think there are a few macro events and there are a few like your internal metrics. So macros include like if people are locked down versus not in lockdown. I think that has an impact. When people start going back to offices and schools and colleges, you will see the patterns shift and the frequency might increase, but total time spent might decrease. But overall, I think the biggest factor to drive up time spent on content apps is actually the content supply. If you can enable more and more people to pick this as a profession, create really high quality content and improve in their quality generation capacity, you will find consumers spending more time. So I think next year, as we are spending so much to help our creators make money, I'm sure all our competitors in general, I think in the world, this whole thing about enabling creators is a very positive movement, because that will help them create really high quality content, which in turn should push the time spent that consumers are spending on the platform. So I think at a long-term level, like keeping aside the lockdown macros, we believe the time spent should go up meaningfully in the next few years.
Any indication as to how much in percentages or in numbers that you can share?
So I think we are at least expecting a 20% jump in our time spent per DAU numbers.
Right. Interesting perspective out there. One more thing I want to ask, Pankaj, is, when you look at the kind of competitors in the market, you have, Instagram, and you have, other platforms as well, which are launching similar content formats. And when you look at the average attention span of users, that's also shrinking dramatically. So what is your perspective on that? Do you think that there is a need for a product that could perhaps reduce, give users that kind of perspective to be able to watch content in a shorter window?
Yeah, I think there are two extremes. You either binge watch 30 episodes on Netflix, or you want a 15-second video. So I think the world is moving in the two extremes. I think the post-lockdown world would need far more short video content. I think during lockdown, we all had the luxury of consuming a lot of long-form content. But when you are in a post-lockdown world, when you are in a metro waiting for the train to come, or like you get those short 5-minute windows where you need to get good content, where you need to get some form of content dose. That is where you need short video content. Our belief is that as the world goes back to normal, we should see even better concentration of the user's time on short form content, because you would not, probably on the weekends you can afford to watch a 30 episode binge. Every time else, like every other slot, you would probably want a short form content.
Right. Thanks for that, Ankush. Final question before I let you go on valuations, unicorn valuations. What is your perspective on that?
See, I think valuations, at least from the companies that I see, there are few very high quality companies in India who have absorbed massive amounts of capital, and they're very well priced. If you think long term, if you believe in the India story that 20 years on the line we will keep increasing our GDP per capita, and we will have very similar dynamics like China, all these valuations would look very well priced today. So I think a lot depends on how long term you're thinking. I think in pockets you do have areas where it probably feels like overpriced and all, but I think I still feel very comfortable with the kind of companies, and when I talk to other entrepreneurs and founders, I feel the money is being well utilized by these companies into building the core IPs. For example, for us, we are investing a disproportionate amount in creator economy and in building an AI infra. So these two things will always help us long term. If you burn all your money into discounts, I think that is a questionable tactic. But if you're building core IPs within your companies, I think it's money well spent.
Right, but ShareChat has nothing to worry about. $3.7 billion in valuation. It's a good amount of valuation to have at this point in time. So thanks so much, Ankush, for joining us today. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. Thanks so much for your time.